Fishy, fishy, fishy!
What's going on, fishy friends? Alright, just got home from work and got a package waiting for me from Ted Judy, so we'll do a quick unboxing video. This is always interesting to do one-handed, and I don't have the knife I like using typically, so we'll try to do this with a scissor, and hopefully we won't hurt ourselves here. I've ordered fish from Ted Judy in the past and always been extremely pleased with the way he handles his customers and just how he handles everything in general. I guess that's not a note for me. I don't know what the heck that even said. No mail paralysis? Alright. Well, let's see what we got. As usual, as come to expect from Ted Judy, everything is very well packed. The heat pack is still warm, which is a good sign because it got pretty cold today. And the FedEx delivery was delayed by a number of hours. This package was supposed to show up prior to 10:30 this morning, and it didn't end up showing up until almost 3 p.m. or so. And here we are 3 hours or so later than that. Luckily I had somebody bring the package inside for me, so I wasn't sitting outside on my stoop all day. But it looks like everybody is alive and well. Probably pretty difficult to see what we got here, so let's see if we can open this up a little further. And take a look at the fish. Opening. Alright, one bag open. The inside of this bag is a little damp. And there they are. We got apistogramma cacatuoides triple reds. A couple of more fish to go into the 20 long where I currently have that one apisto. Boy, these are tiny, tiny, tiny juveniles. I'm going to have to let Ted know that his packing, for some reason, didn't hold up as well as it did in the past. Very hard to see the fish, especially in the bag. These fish were supposed to arrive to me about a week ago, but Ted let me know he had a slight malfunction to the furnace in his fish room. He apparently came home and found his entire fish room down in the 50 or 60 degree range. He was nice enough and honest enough to tell me what happened and held back the shipment for a week so we could monitor the fish. His specific concern was that he might get an outbreak of ick. A week later, he said he saw no ill signs of anything, and I got 4 tiny looking juvenile apistogramma cacatuoides triple reds. So we're going to go ahead and acclimate these guys, and I'll check in later. Alright guys, a couple minutes later, and the bags are floating and acclimating. Looks like I got 2 males and 2 females. Looks like that's a male. And looks like that's probably a female. And another male. And probably another female. These are definitely very young fish. I'm not going to try to estimate how old they are. Where is, just as a size comparison, if I can find the one apisto I have left in this tank. Of course, now he's going to hide and make this impossible to compare. But there is what I would call, I guess he's a full-grown adult. He's very close to being full-grown at the very least, compared to that tiny little guy. So far so good. We'll get the temperature acclimated and we'll get the fish into the tank. Alright guys, the fish have been acclimating for a while and should be at the same temperature. So they are just about ready for me to drop into the tank. And the time that they've been hanging out and acclimating, the one apisto that I do have in this tank, which, well, now he's all the way over here. He seems to have taken note of these guys and was, I don't know if disturbed is the right word, but he did not look happy as he quickly realized he was no longer going to be the lone bachelor in this tank and has a couple of roommates now. But he'll get over it quick. Now my only concern is whether or not these apistos are going to acclimate well to my heavily injected CO2 tank. So I'm going to leave the air bubble going for a while and hope for the best. As I've said before in other videos, and I'm sure you've heard from other people, whenever you get new fish, you don't want to just dump the bag into your tank. Even the most reputable breeder in the world, you never know what's in their tank water. Safe bet that their tank water is not exactly the same as yours, no matter who you get your fish from. And you don't want to just go dump in the bag. So you float the fish for a while, and then what I like to do is set up a net over a bucket, and what I'll do is I'll pour the fish in, and that way now my fish is down in the bottom of the net, along with a piece of oh, I forget what you call this. This is that, it looks like filter floss, but it's really a chemical pad that reduces ammonia and stuff. Sometimes that's a good idea to include when you're shipping fish, and apparently that's what Ted Judy decided to use. ChemiPure or something like that, maybe it's called. I will say that fish has almost immediately colored up since getting him in here. But I can't get him out of the net without ruining my driftwood and my aquascape. Alright, he's in. I don't think he's realizing. There he goes. Alright, that's a good sign. He swam away, so that's good. And we will repeat that process 3 more times with these other fish. This is not something I typically do one-handed, so forgive me if the camera doesn't really pick up what it's supposed to. Alright, so fish in the net. ChemiPure thing out of the net. There he is, looking good. And in he goes. And once he makes the realization that he is free and gets out of my way, there he goes. So now my net's stuck. But you never realize how difficult this stuff is one-handed until you try it. Kudos to any of you YouTubers out there that have become accustomed to dealing with this stuff one-handed. That's a bad sign. The open end of my bag has dropped down below my tank level. Hopefully I didn't transfer anything from the bag to my tank. Okay, now... Alright. Next one in. And now I'm finally at that sweet spot of enough water in the bucket where the fish is at least underwater, even though he is in the net. A couple of seconds, even to a couple of minutes of a fish out of water isn't going to be the end of the world. Okay. I will say, it looks like each of these fish so far, come on, have colored up almost instantly once I got them out of the bag. And even while they're still stressed out and in the net, just touching the tank water seems to, I don't know, liven them up almost. The colors are really popping immediately. I know Ted Judy had commented that he wasn't importing these fish. Alright guys, I don't know where we left off with that when I was last filming. I think my battery died, and we're at least 4 or 5 days later now. Other than some algae growing on the glass, there is nothing to complain about in this tank. The apistos have fared pretty well. 4 new ones are still alive and kicking it. There is one of the females back there. Here's one of the males there. That's my big one. I don't know if you can get an idea of the size comparison there. Let's see, there's another female. Somewhere back there in the plants. And I'm not sure where the other male is right now, but I saw it only a matter of hours ago, earlier today. So they've acclimated well. They did better than the Siamese algae eaters and the Amano shrimp I recently got. I have kept the airstone in the tank for the past week or so. But so far they're doing good. I do have to clean this tank. But even these juveniles have some stunning colors already. There's one of the new young ones. Oh, there's the other male. And There's my old one there. I was just out, now I can't see it again. But I am a bit surprised how much color and how good overall these young fish look. They're still pretty tiny, but they're eating well, and they should grow pretty good in here. There's 1, 2, 3. Where's number 4? I'm not even sure if I've filmed all 4 since I've been standing here or not. I can see 3 at once. I'd love to see the 4th in the same shot, but that's not going to happen. Alright, maybe another time. Alright, that's it for now. Later, guys.